Hello everyone, I'm Herin Amelia. My student number is 888-118-050. Today I will present about definition of reading aloud. The first definition is from Huang. Huang said reading aloud is an important part in education for all-around development, which has several functions in English teaching. And by reading aloud, students can test themselves whether the pronunciations that they are saying incorrect or not. So if the pronunciation are not correct, can easily revise it. And in addition, Huang also said that reading aloud is used as the major and magic way to improve students' oral English. The second definition is from Taragian. Reading aloud is a way of reading aloud. What needs to be paid attention to is the pronunciation of vowels or consonants, song tones or speech, mastery of punctuation signs, grouping words or phrases into unit of ideas, eye speed and expression. Next definition is from Ismail. Reading aloud is a form of strategy to read a text aloud that can help focus your attention, mentally asking questions and discussion. Based on understanding of reading aloud above, we conclude that reading aloud is a technique of reading aloud to help students achieve better and more accurate ability to use words, intonation, and pronunciations while reading.
So next we will discuss about the benefits of read aloud strategy. And the first we will talk about evidence-based benefits. So here's the first one. Reading aloud creates a classroom community by establishing a non-text that can be used as the basis for building on critical thinking skills that are related or unrelated to the reading. And the second one, discussion generated by reading aloud can be used to encourage listeners to construct meanings, connect ideas and experiences across text, use their prior knowledge, and question unfamiliar words from the text. The third, reading aloud gives students an opportunity to hear the instructor model fluency and expression in reading technical or literary language. So it may through the intonation, expression, attention to punctuation, the readers demonstrate meaning embedded in the text. The fourth, reading aloud develops adaptive expertise. So routine expertise relies on automated recall of the memorized declarative knowledge, but adaptive expertise depends on the acquisition of the meaningful knowledge. So that is the knowledge organized through connections to other knowledge. And adaptive expertise synthesizes knowledge groups to make meaning in new ways to solve unexpected or novel problems. And next, reading aloud helps students learn how to use language to make sense. So it improves their information processing skills, vocabularies, and comprehensions as well. And next, reading aloud targets the skills of audio learners. So there are research that has shown that teachers who read aloud motivate students to read. Next, we will talk about the experiential benefits from read aloud strategy. The first one, reading aloud to students both slows down and simultaneously intensifies the classroom experience. In a world of soundbites and half-formed ideas expressed quickly in electronic formats, the students benefit from giving complete ideas expressed with originality and attentions, such as one finds in literary language. The second, reading aloud facilitates narrative transport, a state characterized by absorption into a story's narrative flow. The listener may forget her surroundings and enjoy her visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and emotional sense, and may experience a sense of time distortion. This is a qualitatively altered state that is supportive of active and deeper learning. The third, reading aloud helps students develop good listening habits. The value of listening within an instructional dialogue may not be fully appreciated in our fast-paced, digitally accessible, media-saturated, action-oriented culture. An active listening fosters contemplation and reflection with which students may collect information, yet fail to gain knowledge. And next, telling stories from disparate points of view helps the reader and student to grasp a bigger picture and anticipate variables that might not be discernible when approached from a single perspective. And the last, reading aloud provides a quick and easy assessment of students' comprehension. So one of the most basic tests of comprehension is to ask someone to read aloud from a book. It reveals far more than whether the reader understands the words. It reveals how far into the words and the pattern the reader really sees, and reading aloud recaptures the physicality of the word.
Okay, my friends already explained the benefit of read aloud methods. Now I will explain the disadvantage of read aloud methods. The student will feel bored if the reading is monotone. So the teacher need to make an attractive and unique teaching process in the class, so the student won't feel bored anymore. And the second, low-grade student or young learners still do not understand what they are reading. So the student just read a lot of text, but they didn't know what the text tell about. And the third, not all teachers can provide interesting reading material. Alright, okay. Sometimes there are some material that not interesting for student to read, and it seems quite bored for student, but they need to learn it because that is important for their goal in teaching and learning process. And the fourth, if the other classroom is so noisy, then the presentation of this method will be inefficient. So, in this case, the teacher needs to attract student attention, especially for young learners, that their attention can be easily distracted by some noises or some things. Okay, next, my friends will be explain the principles of read aloud.
The principle of reading aloud strategy. Educator is implementing a learning strategy are required to pay attention to the various indicators that arise when the learning process is carried out. In addition, teacher as educator also need to pay attention to the various principles when applying them, because the principle in class is have not just one but 6. And the first one is to understand the characters of students. Basically, students have the character of curiosity or imagination. This characteristic is the basic development of critical and creative thinking or attitude. Second is get to know students individually. Individual different, of course, not everyone same, and all students in the class do not have to do the same activity. It means that differ according to their learning speed in learning, and give them freedom to choose the activity, or you make not just one activity, you choose activity that suit them better, like that. And students who have more ability can be used to help classmates who have low ability, is make you easier in the class. And third is analyzing the behavior of students in organizing learning. Learners naturally play in pair or group. It's more easier for you to make them in a pair or group. Such behavior can be used by teacher in class. Organizing with a group, it will be easier, that I already say. And for them to interact or exchange idea, because it just don't. It means that because in group they just don't know one brain but up 2 or 3 brain or more, and it make them easier.
So in here, I'm going to talk about 3 components in Read Aloud. The first one is what to read, second one is the example of the text, and the third one is the steps. The first one is what to read. You can read some of these types, for example, humorous, serious, fanciful, realistic, fables, folktales, myth, books by same author or illustrator, different version of the same story or topic, poetry, content area or information text or storybook, magazine articles, teachers on writing, pictures book, 50% fiction, 50% non-fiction. And the next is the example of the text. This is the fable type. I took it from the book by Aesop, illustrated by Milo Winter. The title is The Lion and the Mouse. You can read it by yourself. This is the story. And the third one is Read Aloud steps. The first one is select a book that is suit their grade levels. The second one is prepare the book that can be completed in one sitting. The third one is think about the students you are reading to, the ages, developmental levels, and interests, and what you want them to get out of the story. The fourth, show the cover, introduce the title, author, and illustrator. The fifth one is to bring the story to life. Try to give each character's different voice. The sixth one is clarify unknown words by asking the students what they think the word could mean. The seventh, share your own thoughts about the story. The eighth, ask questions about the story. For example, what was your favorite part and why? What was the problem in the story and how was it solved? And how did the story make you feel? The last one is ask the students to describe one of the characters in the story. So this is the step that I got from the internet, and mostly it's for children levels. So there are some the characters for different voice, the changing voice to make them more interest in your story while they listen to your story, and also the prepare the book that can be completed in one sitting means you need to search for the short story because this is for children. So just that from me.